In Puerto Penasco, Mexico, I'm Rosa Linda Román, and this is New Mexicast. Welcome back to New Mexicast, everyone. Puerto Penasco, to many Americans, is known as Rocky Point. It's a popular spring break spot because of its easy driving distance from Tucson, Phoenix, San Diego, and southern New Mexico. But those of us who love coming here often do so with mixed emotions because of the poverty in the surrounding areas. Well, rather than avoid this beautiful place, we met up with some folks who actually are doing what they can to make a difference here.
This episode is brought to you by Life Invigorated Real Estate, where you can live above your means without living beyond your means. If you dream of vacationing in exotic places but don't want to break the bank, and if the idea of a timeshare with hundreds or even thousands of investors just doesn't sound like a sound investment to you, then it's time for you to check out Life Invigorated. Whether you're looking for a way to travel or just want the security of premium real estate investment, Life Invigorated is the service for you. See for yourself at lifeinvigorated.com.
Best friends since they were even younger than 2-year-old Samuel, Arizona and New Mexico residents Don Marshall and Nathan Goldfine have been meeting in Puerto Peñasco, Mexico for family vacations for decades. And as they both continue the Rocky Point tradition with their own kids, these breathtaking beach vacations take on an even deeper meaning. Because with maturity comes awareness, so that the carefree fun in the sun isn't quite enough anymore. On the way to the luxury resorts lining the beach, visitors must pass homes like these, where thousands of families are living in abject poverty, with no electricity, running water, or even a solid roof over their heads.
When it rained, it just came right through to the house.
Nathan's 7-year-old daughter, Ahava, and Don's teenage daughter, Jerica, gave up their day at the beach to visit some of the families living in nearby neighborhoods. It was an eye-opening experience for both girls.
Where do they sleep and, where is their food?
Where what?
Where did they get food from?
Like, where's the kitchen?
Yeah. Where did they, get food from?
Makes you worry about how they live that way, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
For several years now, the tourism that once sustained these communities has taken a terrible hit, partly due to the downturn in the U.S. economy and partly due to fears about drug-related violence in Mexico.
Did you hear warnings before you came down? Were your friends like, oh, are you crazy?
Oh, yeah, but I love it down here. I don't, like my dad was saying on our ride down here, there's places in South Tucson that I wouldn't want to go more than I'd want to come here.
So you feel like it's pretty safe?
Oh, yeah.
Hola. I've never run into a problem, and I hate to say it's never going to happen or that's not the issues and different things, but I do think if you're not looking for drugs, if you're not part of that whole culture anyway, then you really have a slim to nil chance of really getting hurt from the situation. So, and I think also there's so many good people down here, that they are so anxious to make sure people, Americans or whoever is coming down here, is safe and is protected, because they really need us. They really need us down here. So I really get this more of like, boy, we really are glad you're here kind of attitude than why are you here attitude.
Still, many tourists have steered clear of all Mexican cities out of fear, which has had a devastating effect here.
We were down here last weekend, and it was literally a ghost town, and I'm looking at, here we are now down here during spring break, and yes, it's busier, but not anything like a typical spring break would be. And so it really hurts the economy down here so dramatically compared to the United States. And we may think that we are having a little struggle up there, but they're really struggling down here.
Which is why Don and many other Americans are creating new family traditions of service, donating food and clothing and even building homes to give back to a community that has given them so much over the years. But being a tourist doesn't necessarily give well-meaning foreigners like Don an understanding of what the community's needs really are, and there are plenty of stories of donations being misused.
Down here, obviously, so much of it is based on trust. I mean, you have to find people you can trust and that you know, hey, if we get this stuff to these people, will it get to the people that need it?
Don connected with a Phoenix-based organization called I68, which helps match people willing to help with the locals who need it most. By bringing together dozens of volunteers for what can be called radical service projects, I68 has already built 10 homes for local families, with more home-building trips in the near future.
It's a beautiful job.
Peñasco resident Tony Valenzuela works with I68 to help steer donations to families in need.
Yes, con sus manos.
I68 recently built this house for Celia Luna, her husband, and their 3 daughters. From the front doorstep in, the difference they are making is obvious.
This is just made by USB. That's what we use in 2x4s, you know, and we build these kind of houses in 3 days. So the groups come in, they conform maybe about 25 or 32 people, more or less, and they come and work together just for one purpose, to help the family to live better. So before they live in this area here.
When you step inside the old home, you can immediately understand why the new home feels like paradise for Celia and her family.
I think that they've improved a lot.
So you can see that people coming together to build that house, do you think it made a big difference for that family?
And for Tony, that's the most important part of what they are doing here, turning a seemingly hopeless situation into a community full of hope for the future.
And this is for the kids, you know, because we want a better future. It's like you say, sometimes you give the fish, but you not teach to catch. Every time it's going to wait for just you give the fish. That's what you teach.
You become part of the solution.
That's right. It's not just come and do this. It's just be a part of that. So we are so close from our community. And my heart sometimes hurts what happened. And I want to have everything to help, but if you don't have the tools to do it, the same. You can go fishing if you don't have those pole, you can't do nothing, right? Just swimming.
Which is why volunteers like Don are putting their own fears aside and trying to live up to the I68 name, which is a reference to Isaiah 6:8, which says, "Here I am, send me."
Sometimes the need seems so overwhelming that you're like, oh, you just kind of give up, or you feel like I can't do enough, or I can't do everything, and you can't do everything. The point is you can do something, so do something. And that's kind of my thought on the whole issue of what we're doing here, is that I look at it and I go, you look at this community and the needs here and all that, and you think, what can I do? And you just step forward and you say, I'm going to do something, and you start there.
Perhaps not what most people think of when they are planning a beach vacation, but an experience that will certainly last longer than a tan. In Puerto Penasco, Mexico, for New Mexicast, I'm Rosa Linda Román. And coming up on a future episode of New Mexicast, we're going to actually tag along with one of those crews as they're working to build homes and make a difference in people's lives here. And we'll also share with you how you can also make a difference. Thanks so much for supporting New Mexicast. I'm Rosa Linda Román.
Like a dream I had.
New Mexicast theme song is New Mexico by Dorian Spencer. Additional support for New Mexicast provided by
Gracias. Muchas gracias a ustedes.
Can you shake her hand?
Cuando gusten venir a mi casa.
Muchas
gracias. Puertas de mi casa están abiertas.
I won't get video of that. He turned off his microphone, I hope.
No video.
Why won't you?
Because that's the bathroom.
I have a friend, and this is funny, you know, because I say when it's raining, it's the only time that I take a shower. I say, why? Because my house is leaking. I just put it over there and just take a shower. That's funny thing.
Yes, because it's easy driving distance to San Diego, Tucson, Phoenix, and a crying baby. Oh. Are you sad because you're missing the gator?